Hello and welcome to Needing a Meeting. My name is Carol. I will be your host today, and it says that 5 people are here, but I don't see any chat yet. Anybody in the chat? Let me go on to YouTube and see. So how's everybody? Sometimes the chat does not show up in the restream feed, but it will show up, of course, on YouTube. So I'm headed to YouTube, and hopefully I don't get echoes, but I probably will. Hey, there we go. Hey, Shannon Smith. Hey, Nana Nancy. Good to see you guys. So what are your plans for the weekend? Hey, Tony B. Glad it's Friday. Indeed. So I won't go to YouTube. That'll save me an echo. Anybody got any big plans for the weekend? Hopefully we'll be getting closer to getting out of our paid storage unit. And that would be nice. I'd like to get some brush hogging done. That's not all that exciting, but needs to be done nonetheless. It'll look really good when it gets done. Good to see you too, Shannon. So I don't know if anybody's going to show up in the panel today or not, but I thought this was kind of cool. It was talking about, basically it can apply to any peer support, but it says, when the going gets rough, it is a design for living that works in rough going. And that's Alcoholics Anonymous, page 15, the big book. When I came to AA, I realized that AA worked wonderfully to help keep me sober. But could it work on real life problems not concerned with drinking? I had my doubts. After being sober for more than 2 years, I got my answer. I lost my job, developed physical problems. My diabetic father lost a leg, and someone I loved left me for another. And all this happened during a 2-week period. Reality crashed in, yet AA was there to support, comfort, and strengthen me. The principles I had learned during my early days of sobriety became a mainstay of my life. For not only did I come through, but I never stopped being able to help newcomers. AA taught me not to be overwhelmed, but rather to accept and understand my life as it unfolded. Hey, Matrix Rabbit. Good to see you guys. So, what do you guys want to talk about today? I don't have a topic, so we can talk about anything. And I'll just since it's just me, I'll just read comments. How's everybody doing? Serenity prayer works for all. It does, Shannon. It does. Sometimes I have to remember, oh yeah, there's this, But yeah, absolutely. So it's just going to be me up here, I guess, hopefully. Well, maybe not. I'll post a link if anybody wants to pop in and chat. I have been wondering what to do about my work life. I've got to have something that brings in an income. I have taken the test to do some closed captioning, but it takes 8 to 14 weeks, they said, to hear back. So, hey, Ben. I've got my thing on, I'm pretty sure. I would join you, but heading to work. Okay, Shannon. If you got a flight, have a good flight. Yeah, he is mute, Matrix. And he's gone. So yeah, I've been in a quandary, what to do about that. I'm having trouble with YouTube too, getting registered, getting my ID verified for some reason. I don't know if it's because I took too long to do it because I didn't understand that that's something that I had to do. But yeah, you guys, I've got to start looking for something, and I don't know what to do with myself. I've been out of the workforce for over, let's see, for 12 years. I started caring for mom back in 2012 and tried to work, and there was so many interruptions that I ended up just being her caregiver full time. I've thought about going into caregiving, but I don't know. Hey, Tony,
Hello.
how are you?
I'm good. I'm in the car, but I have you where I'm safe and everything. So,
Okay, good.
plus one of my son's school friend, they grew up together and went to school together. She and her baby are in the car, so I have to drive safely.
Yes, you do. Okay,
So, but I make sure that I'm not paying attention to my screen while I drive.
okay. Thank you, Shannon. I appreciate that. That's the trick in the matrix traffic. What do I want to do? I don't know. I've been out of the workforce for 12 whole years, and I don't know.
Is Ben trying to say something, but we can't hear him?
Yeah, yeah, he's still muted. Can you hear us?
He's just going on and on. I don't think he can hear us.
Can you? Okay, you can hear us. Okay.
He's just doing his usual flail the hand thing and
Yep, still muted. Before I actually went to go see about my mom uh, for her heart attack, I was working on an Indian reservation in Southern California, and for their environmental department, I would help with the grant writing and grant, you know, the requirements that you have to report and do the work, of course, that the grant was given to do on the reservation.
get this
And
AC going.
it was a very rewarding job, and I loved it. But those opportunities are not around here where I live now, here in Arkansas. At least not in my immediate vicinity. So, and when I was in South Texas, I did I worked for a physical therapist, just helping with an after school program where they were teaching kids how to exercise. But I don't think that they could do that here in Arkansas. In South Texas, it's a part of the South Texas that's so remote that, it's almost like it's a different country, and they just do things a little differently. I would probably have to have some kind of certification to do that here. I did bids for schools at computer company. Okay. Not like that in Arkansas. That's it, Shannon. Um, I'm just in for a quickie. Got to get back to work, and also just making me and my son some dinner. Right on, Matrix. I mean, mayonnaise entertainment. I apologize.
Is this silly thing working yet? Is it working
Yes,
now?
yes, I can hear you perfectly.
I would like to take this opportunity to thank Microsoft for that last lovely update. I find it was really great the way it changed my microphone inputs without my permission. I thought that was really a nice touch, Billy. Thanks a lot, guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well,
I've gotten to where I really like Chromebook. I don't know if Windows has anything to do with it, but
mm,
I don't. There's nothing that happens with Chromebook that happens with Windows. So if they are involved with it, they're playing by a different set of rules, and I'm fine with that.
I'm Yeah, as many issues as I have with Google, I could see the draw
Mm-hmm.
for it. I mean, every major conglomerate you're going to have that, but yeah. Um, I just I would like to take an opportunity just to bitch about one thing that I know that most people are going to say, "What WTF are you whining about?" Been off nicotine fully for 3 days, 2 days. I don't know. 3 days. Okay. My stupid blood pressure fell by 20 points. This
Is
means
that good, or was it
it's
needing to?
good. It's
Okay.
good, but I'm
Okay.
mad because now that means I won't be able to. I was hoping to go back on the patch because it did such a good job of maintaining ADHD focus.
Hmm.
But no, well, I'll need to find something else. That's fine.
Well, have you got a good prescriber that you can trust? It's funny that we're calling doctors prescribers now.
That's sad. It really is. But
It is,
yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah, she gave me some stuff to help me focus in the meantime, but yeah. Actually I shouldn't really whine about it, but the thing was is I was so looking forward to it because I could get it in patch form. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't addicted or anything, quit it for a couple weeks just for grins and giggles. 3 weeks actually. But okay. And I was hoping just to use the patch because that's a good you probably won't get addicted to a patch because you're sticking a sticker on yourself. I mean, you're not like ingesting anything, but
Hmm.
yeah,
Especially not ingesting smoke,
yeah. And I mean, before
like
I was,
lighting it on fire.
yeah, and before I found my major thing with it after switching to 1 milligram, it wasn't the nicotine. I mean, I think subconsciously I wanted the nicotine because it really helped my mental state, but um, it was need for reassurance was a major thing. And
Hmm.
I keep trying to find something to shove in my mouth, which
Yeah.
I can see now why people quitting nicotine gain weight. I can see why, because you're constantly looking for that need of reassurance.
Yeah.
I mean, I have non-sugar lozenges coming. They should be here tomorrow. I have the herbal tobacco, herbal, I don't know what you want to call it, herbal snuff. There's no tobacco in it at all. It's just a bunch of like, I guess, plants just ground up and shove this in your face. Um, so yeah, there's all kinds of things, but yeah, it's just depressing. I was just kind of hoping to go back on it just for grins and giggles, but yeah,
Yeah.
I should be happy. I mean,
Shannon points out that nicotine is still a drug. Well,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, it had multiple effects which I liked. Mental the mental clarity, the what do you call it, the neuroplasticity. There were several things about it I liked, but
Hmm.
yeah, I was doing too much of it. I was doing like 18 lozenges a day. That's 18 milligrams. That's as much as 2 or 3 cigarettes. Like what's the
Yeah.
point if I'm, you know? So yeah. But yeah, I wanted to whine about that, just to whine.
Right on.
And I wanted to whine about
That's valid. I
Microsoft.
mean, nicotine is a drug, and
Yeah,
there are withdrawals with it.
yeah.
There are.
Well, and I find it interesting. This last time, I mean, because I used to chew a lot, but that was like 20 years, 30 years ago. Um, I've quit forever. Last time I chewed tobacco was 20 years ago because I forgot I went back on it after I put myself through counseling. But yeah, the last time I went back on it, it was just using nicotine lozenges, and it was for that effect. It was for I wanted the mental clarity. But yeah, I let it get out of hand. So fine, I will be investigating. Apparently, according to the mighty Kristen Melinda, KM, as we can call her. According to KM, caffeine is also supposed to help with mental clarity with ADHD. So I'm going to investigate that.
Okay. I had to quit Vyvanse when I had heart problems, says Shannon Smith. I don't know what Vyvanse is for. But Crystal, how did it go?
I'm home. I'm home. Thank you. No, it went all right. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I had to turn my AC on because it's a little warm in here. So,
Yeah.
well, it went okay. We just had lunch, and the only thing that ended up getting me was there's only about 3 topics that Dad seems to want to talk about. Besides other family members. One of those is Walmart, because we've both worked there, and, you know.
Sure.
And so, of course, he wanted to talk about that. And at one point, I finally said, you know what? Can we just not talk about Walmart?
Good for you. Good for you. I realize, yeah. Good for you.
Because I had already told them that I was on medical leave, and I didn't tell them why. I just said I was on medical leave. And when after I said, "Can we just not talk about it?" Jan kind of said, "Yeah, I guess you kind of want to leave it alone for right now, don't you?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So then I started asking about my oldest brother's kids and what they were up to, and so.
Okay. If I wasn't on Medicare, that's what I would do. Okay. What does Medicare and going back to school? What's the issue with that? Yeah, I have thought about going back to school, and it's cost prohibitive if there isn't any grants or anything like that. So heard cinnamon bears help with that. Help with what?
Will him being on a grant take away Medicare maybe because it would count as income? Maybe. Oh, so you will
Possibly.
lose.
I
Interesting.
will lose it. If you go to school, you'll lose Medicare? That makes no sense.
Well,
Hey, Heather.
I bet the grant to go to school probably counts as income, and that probably chucks your Medicare.
Okay.
That might be it. I mean, yeah. I'm not expecting any kind of intelligent argument from the I shouldn't say that. No, I'll say it. I'm not expecting any kind of intelligent argument from the government. Yeah, that's the government.
Yeah.
Yes. If you don't have anything good to say, sit next to me and we'll just sit down and, yeah.
I think it probably is because if you are well enough to go to school, then you're well enough to hold down a job. So thus you shouldn't be on a disability type thing.
Okay.
Is probably what their thinking is.
Huh. Wow.
Which is stupid, but
I mean, Medicare, do they actually pay you anything, or do they just pay for health care?
I think they just do strictly health care, but I think it's means tested. And
Okay.
I'm betting the government probably says, well, if this grant, you're being granted money, it's income then.
Yeah.
And then that big spike of income probably said, no, you don't qualify. So
I'm still in a little bit of a fog from my medication situation a couple of days ago, so I apologize, you guys, if I don't seem quite up to my normal energy level.
Okay.
I do really get that. I know I'm kind of playing it up a little bit, but I am. It is amazing to me how much you wouldn't think nicotine would help, but it really did. it really did help my focus. And I think the little bit it did was just between, it's just one of those things. I'm just on the verge of, going ADHD and the verge of not, and I think it probably is what tipped the scale. But yeah, so I mean, I can relate. I find myself right now, um, I'm trying to research trying to research, different therapy methods, and then, the strangest things pop into my head. Like, I wonder if there's still a Village Inn up in Tucson that has French silk pie. Oh, interesting. I remember back when Oracle Road was only 2 lanes. Oh, wow. Tommy was my best friend's name in high school. I wonder what his mother's doing. Oh, it's like, wow. Jeez.
That's amazing.
Oh well. I'm hoping to stick to, lower, because it's not like my ADHD is not that, it's not like, there's people with serious issues. I'm probably at the level where it's more of an inconvenience type, but when you have it, you have it. It's like, this sucks, and
They say it takes about 21 days for the physical cravings for the nicotine to start to subside. So lots of vitamin C, maybe some oranges or something.
Well, I've actually been really good as far as cravings. I just crave to stick something in my mouth. I'm not craving, necessarily tobacco, but yeah, I mean, she gave me something else to help me focus.
Okay. Does it take a while for you to start seeing the impact of what she gave you? Okay.
Yeah, and I don't know if you can smoke it. I mean, I could try doing that just for the novelty aspect. Ugh. Oh, it smells like vomit. It might grow on me after a while.
You're home.
I'm home. So my phone was overheating. So that's why I was having issues. I get out in this heat and my phone don't like it.
Yeah. Nicotine cinnamon bears. Okay. I wondered what that was.
Oh yeah, cinnamon bears for stopping smoking. That can help. They're like a chewy gummy, or those little cinnamon like candies, hard candies.
Yeah, those were awesome.
Yeah,
oh my
you can still get those.
Yeah, but I can't because of sugar. But yeah, those were awesome. I love those.
They might have sugar-free ones.
Yeah, maybe I'd get lucky, and maybe.
Or you could just suck on a cinnamon stick, like a cinnamon stick. Yeah.
Speaking of ADHD and sugar-free, if you want to look up something amazing, look up Harbro, HARBRO, I think, sugar-free gummies. Look at the reviews on Amazon.
Yes,
they are awesome.
They are. There's one review that's famous because it's so epic.
Okay.
What the one of the chemicals involved in these gummy bears is it causes your system to release whatever it has, and it does so at the most inopportune times. And one of the reviews, it may be the one that's the most famous, I don't know, I've read a few. This one kid in class, he's hungry. The only thing he has in the vending machine is these Harbro sugar-free gummies. So he's like, okay, I'll buy a couple packs. So he chews on them, just to get something in the stomach. Okay, he's taking his tests, and all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, this is not going to go well. You could feel things release.
No.
He has to run into the bathroom, and it's very colorful. And the title of the review was "See You in Hell, Harbro Gummy Bears." Yes. It's epic though. I mean, he goes into very descriptive language and yeah, pretty good stuff.
That's funny.
So
That is
Yeah,
funny. I'll have to check that out.
yeah.
they put
Haribo
they
gummies, sugar-free gummies. Yeah.
Yeah.
so they put a laxative in them then, hey?
Well,
Well,
there's some kind of
for the
chemical.
sweetener, this is a sweetener. Is this stuff called
Yeah,
maltitol?
Yeah.
yeah,
And maltitol is the active ingredients. Let's just say.
yeah.
And so if
And
you
that
eat a whole
stuff
bunch
is
of those, yeah,
Yep.
sugar-free, sick people. Yeah, we have to
I've
have
never liked
open
Harboros
minds, Mike,
anyway, so it's
as you
not a big
are,
deal for me.
anyways.
Crazy.
Shannon Smith says you're funny when you bitch.
Yeah. Oh.
So
Yeah,
Rebecca and I had a good day.
Okay,
We were
and who is
chore
that?
buddies today. Rebecca?
Yeah, who is that?
oh, yeah.
Oh, Rebecca,
Rebecca.
our Rebecca.
Yeah.
Our Rebecca. She
Okay,
and I were chore buddies today. We were talking on
okay.
the phone doing chores together. I was taking care of laundry that's been sitting around for 2 weeks and that's clean and washed, just need to be folded, hung, and put away. And she was working on meal prep. And it worked. We got a lot done.
That's amazing. I
Yeah.
love it.
Chore
Work
buddies, I've learned
buddies.
chore buddies. Chore buddies, yeah.
buddies.
It makes it easier to do your chores because you're actually talking to somebody, so it makes it go a little bit faster and you don't seem
Yeah.
to be so entangled in what you're doing.
You know, that is one of the things about chores is that it's so solitary.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I hadn't really considered that. Hey, Misha.
Mm.
Hi, Misha. So yeah, so chore buddies, and then you write down your to-done list as you do the stuff. And I tell you what, Rebecca really likes making her to-done list.
Nice.
She feels like she gets a lot accomplished, especially on days when she's really tired and wore out. She still feels like she's accomplished something because instead of writing down the things to do, she writes down the things that she's already done and she feels better. I feel better when I do it.
Right. That is neat. So do you feel like you got more done than you would have without a chore buddy?
Yes.
Really? Oh, that's interesting.
Yes, because I actually got all my laundry because I had laundry that was sitting on my cedar chest that's in my closet that had been there for 2 weeks. I had my basket of laundry that's been done for about 5 days, and my husband's basket of laundry that's been done for 5 days that all needed to be folded, hung up, and then put away. So talking to Rebecca, I was able to just keep going with it because otherwise I would have gotten really overwhelmed with all of it. And as I finished off a section, like when I finished off the cedar chest, I was like, oh, I can see my cedar chest now. And then when I got to the bottom of my basket, which is like a 2 foot tall, 3 foot tall laundry hamper, about a foot square, holds lots of laundry in here to tell you. By the time I got to the bottom of that, I was like, woohoo, I can see the bottom of my basket now.
Nice.
So, yeah, so that was really nice. And she felt really good because she got all the meat that she needed to get cooked, so that now she can just go in and prep it for whatever meal she's going to put with that meat and everything. So, yeah, it worked out well. And then she took a nap, and I got sidetracked by Dustin.
Okay.
For a short time. But, yeah.
If someone gives me sugar-free, I know they hate me. It's a joke in the family. I'm firm about it.
The only reason they're sugar-free in this household is because of Dustin. He controls his diabetes with diet and exercise. That's why he golfs 3 times a week. And he's like very active at work because he's a a team lead, not a team lead, yeah, a team lead. And he has to make sure everybody's doing their job. So he's running in and out of the clean room all the time, having to put his gear on, take his gear off, going back and forth. And so he's doing a lot of running, doing that. And then part of my job to help keep him on track is to make sure I get meals made every night so that he has a good dinner to take to work with him when he has his dinner break.
Okay.
And when I don't do that, it makes it harder on him. So I try really hard to make sure I get dinners done.
Right on. That's nice.
So takes a team.
It does.
Yep.
So how was it with your parents today? Was it a stressful situation, or were you okay?
Once I get there, it's not too bad as long as I can keep Dad away from certain topics.
Okay.
It's actually my dad and his wife. My mother has passed away in 2010. So,
Okay.
and I won't call her mom,
Right.
because to me a mom is someone who's not very nice. So,
Okay. Okay.
and she told me when the first time I met her, they had just gotten engaged. And she says, I don't want you to think that I'm replacing your mom. And I looked at her and I said, you will never be my mother. And because I kind of knew her a tiny bit because she was one of our regulars in Walmart when I worked up there. And so I kind of knew that she wouldn't be anything like my mom. And
Yeah.
I don't know, I might have said it in a way that she might have taken it the wrong way, but whatever. I talked to them a little bit. I don't have much to do with them. I went to their place once for Christmas, and it was supposed to be just her daughter and grandson and me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was okay with that until her daughter decided that she didn't, and grandson decided they didn't need to listen to her when they told them that they needed to help me do the breakfast dishes. And when I got left in the kitchen to do them all on my own, it ended up sending me into an absolute meltdown to the point where I ended up with a headache so bad that I ended up puking just before we ate the noon meal.
I am so sorry.
And literally the second, and I had told them, I said, I have to leave right after lunch because I need to be back home for supper time because my family of choice down here, I was going to their place for supper. And literally the second I backed out of their driveway, the headache that was absolutely intense, could barely see, it was so bad. The second I got out of the driveway, it completely went away and never came back. And so I knew it was stress by then.
Yeah.
Right then I said, no, I'm never going to do that again. So, and I don't want them in my place because Dad has this habit of rubbing his hand back and forth on the handle of the chair and rubbing his foot back and forth on the floor, which both of those activities to a cat can seem aggressive. And he won't stop. He doesn't know he's doing it, but he doesn't stop when you ask him to. And my cat at the time was getting very agitated. So it's just like, nope, not going to go there. Don't want my cat getting agitated. So now it used to be I would say, well, let's just meet in the city. And now that he doesn't drive very much, we met in a place halfway between us in a little town. So, and had lunch there. So it's
Okay.
about an hour for both of us. So,
Okay.
and he can actually drive it. Because I asked him, I said, "Are you able to drive that far?" And because if we were to meet in the city to have lunch, my one brother would have to drive him, and it's the brother I will absolutely have nothing to do with.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
but it was okay. We talked about, like, I asked about my oldest brother's boys, and they're still idiots, and but making money hand over fist, and
We could
Yeah.
always ship them some sugar-free gummy bears.
Yeah.
I don't even have their address.
Rick Spicer wants to know how your visit was over the few days ago.
Oh, the visit with Kim was absolutely amazing.
Good.
The yeah, going and visiting with Kim is always, it fills my cup.
Right
She
on.
just she pours into me, and it helps me to feel better. And of course, they took me out for supper for my birthday, and then the day of my birthday, Kim and I just hung out, which didn't look like it was didn't look like what we were wanting it to look like. But we spent more time in the car going back and forth and back and forth than we were anticipating. She's about a half hour out of the city, and she decided she would go with me on Tuesday morning because I wanted to do my Walmart shopping because it was staff 20% days. And so she came in because she had to drop off some medication that they had done wrong and then pick it up later. Well, we were almost to the city when she realized that she had forgotten the medication. So we finished going into the city, had my chiropractor appointment, drove back to her place, picked up the stuff, back into town, had to kill the time until the medication was filled. And by then it was time to go and pick up her daughter. And we picked up her daughter and found out that her medication needed to be picked up. So back into the city and then back home again. And it was just, oh my goodness. So it was a little bit stressful, but
Yeah.
we at least got to spend the day together.
Right on.
That's always a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I was supposed to come home on Wednesday, and Wednesday morning she was helping me get the computer stuff done for employment insurance. And me, with any of that kind of stuff, it can very quickly stress me out. And so I ended up getting stressed out and starting to freak out. And it was just at that point when Kim needed to take her daughter to work. So I said, okay, I'm going to come with you guys, and then we can finish this when we get home. And thankfully, her student ended up canceling for
Okay.
Wednesday afternoon. So I was, and of course, on our way back from dropping her daughter off, I ended up in a complete meltdown and crying so hard I was hyperventilating and couldn't breathe, and all because of the stupid computer thing that I couldn't figure out.
Mm.
So when we got home, I took an Ativan and went and had a sleep, and when I got up a bit later, it took like 2 minutes to finish everything online, and it all went through. So I ended up staying an extra night, which kind of frustrated me, but because I had really wanted to get home on the Wednesday. But it ended up being a good thing too, because we had a chance to just hang out, and one of the things that she helps me with is when I'm there, we'll sit together, and she'll just hold me. And that is something that has helped so much,
Right on.
because it's just like, it's really hard for most people to understand, but I crave that kind of connection, and like the being able to be held by someone,
Yeah.
because that was never something I even got as a kid growing up.
Oh.
And
Oh.
so just having someone that just loves on me like that just really helps. And I didn't
It's
know how much it would help until these last few months.
Hmm.
human
Wow.
connection is so important in our
It
lives,
is.
and human
It
Yeah.
touch
is.
is essential, because without it, it's like we are isolated and we don't feel like there's a connection to anybody. So by
Yeah.
having that person that you can go to and say, I need a hug, I just need somebody to hold me so I can just sit here and be held and sleep or cry or whatever, that it is you
Yeah.
need. It's so essential in everybody's life. I mean, my two of my children are what I call my touch me nots. They're not big on hugs and stuff like that. They're my touch me nots. But one of them, the youngest, um, when he is not feeling good, all he wants is for me to lay with him and rub his hair or rub his back. I mean, right now, not his back so much because it's pretty tender, but just like, and usually it's when he's got a serious migraine is when he wants that, and he doesn't want it from his dad. He doesn't want it from anybody else. I mean, there were times when he was with Mallory that he didn't want Mallory. He needed mom. He needed mom's attention. He needed mom's comfort. And so I am very grateful that I grew up with having that. So I know how to give that,
Yeah.
because I was able to teach my children that. Even though I have two touch me nots, they still know what it means to have that human contact and everything. So it's so essential. And I'm so glad that you have Kim who does
Yeah.
that for you, because it is
Yeah.
just, there's nothing like it.
Right.
Yeah.
And if I lived closer, I'd do the same thing for you.
I'm pretty lucky in that I'm very tactile, and he seems to be too. So he's very affectionate, and that's very helpful to me. I don't think it would go very well for me in a relationship where there wasn't, pretty
Yeah.
steady
Well,
affection.
it's tough because I live on my own. The one friend that I still have here in town doesn't like hugs. And the funny thing is, when I first met her, she said she was kind of a touchy-feely person. So I'm like, okay, no problem. So hugs, whatever. I would ask, I would give her hugs, whatever. And then the one day she just, no, don't touch me. And I was just like, okay, I don't understand. And she says, I don't like touching. And so I said, well, I thought you said you were a touchy-feely person. She said, no, I'm not. And the response she gave a while later, when somebody else gave her a hug and I was in the room, that person left and she just went, ugh. And I'm like, and I said to her, I said, why don't you say something to them like you did with me? And she said, oh, no, I can't, because they've just lost their husband in the last year, and I can't say that. And I'm like, she would understand.
Yeah.
But And the one that I could get good hugs and stuff from is the one that just moved to Calgary, so which is a good 4 hours away.
Shit.
Yeah. Mm,
And the only time I got hugs from her was when we would get together for coffee or whatever, and that was becoming further and farther between
yeah.
these last few years. So when I was going to church, I at least got one from her every Sunday, but
Yeah. Yeah. Shannon
one a
Smith
week
says,
still,
Crystal, I think everyone craves touch. And I think
yeah,
that that's reasonable. Yeah. Yeah.
This little one does.
Yeah.
He just likes being held.
yeah. Well, and that's why I really like my cats, because at least I can hold them, and especially Leo. He's a mama's boy. He's my cuddle bug. So,
Nice.
but they're both
Yeah.
kind of cuddly today because I was gone for 3 nights.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dustin, when we first started getting together, he had this big old bubble that nobody could get into. He wouldn't let anybody touch him or anything. First time we went out for coffee, I broke through that bubble and I gave him a hug. To this day, I am the only person that gets away with just going up and hugging him, holding on to him, whatever I want. And he'll come up and do the same thing to me. But it's because I broke through and I didn't let him just tell me no. But I also knew that's what he needed at that time. So it was
Yeah.
like, it wasn't like I was forcing myself onto him or forcing my hugs onto him, but it was the fact that I knew what he needed and I was able to give him that. And to this day, he's still like that with me. Very touchy feely. Most other people, he's not that way. Matter of fact, there's times his son Will comes up and gives him a hug and he's just like kind of cringing a little bit because he doesn't want to be touched. I can turn around and do the exact same hug and he's like totally fine with it. But that's just the kind of person he is. So there are people that are not touchy feely, but will be with certain people only because of the way they have built a relationship with that person. And it doesn't have to be sexual or anything. It's just like a friendship, a relationship that has a deep meaning to it. So sorry, I keep looking out my window. I have hummingbirds going to my hummingbird feeders.
Awesome.
I love my hummingbirds.
Hey, bird. Huh? Oh, well.
Only when he wants to.
Yeah.
Just like a
Only-
cat. They only come to you when they want to.
Yeah. Oh, well. This is why I can't have nice things, I suppose. Yeah.
You could get silk.
Get what?
You could get silk underwear or silk sheet.
Yeah, I could do that.
Sorry,
Now that
leftover from yesterday.
I'd still, yeah. Why people put themselves through that? Wow. But
They don't know any better.
yeah.
Especially
Quite
the ones that have
honestly.
grown up in it. Yeah.
Yes. And then there's the rebels like myself that just look at it and go, no, don't think so. No, there's much more out there. And live my life the way I see it.
Yeah.
Good to see you, Rick. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah.
Elizabeth,
No,
everybody, go ahead.
I'm thankful that we were able to keep the conversation today light enough that
Yeah.
the topic of LGBTQ did not come up.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So
Especially if
Right on.
that's a touchy subject.
Yeah.
Well, I can't come out to my dad.
Yeah.
And I'm just starting to get used to coming out and actually talking about it and
Yeah.
saying that, yeah, that's my reality. I feel comfortable doing that with you guys. I feel comfortable with that with Kim, and even my counselor. She knows, and
Yeah.
I guess the part that's hard for me is because I still have my faith, and a lot of people in my faith, my parents, my family. That's also one of the reasons I don't go to church right now, is because I don't want people in the church to find out and kick me out.
You can hand anybody their ass with scriptures that prove that, it's not what they think. And it's not like they think.
Yeah.
And they have that attitude. There's,
Well,
and you're going to go by the words in red, which, I mean, if you profess to be a Christian, that's supposed to be your main bread and butter, and he said nothing. Nothing.
the thing is with the way I see it for myself, and I'm saying it's for myself, not if like I've got friends that are in that community that are in serious relationships, and I'm okay with that. If that is what they're okay with in their faith, no problem. I'm not going to judge them for that. For myself, I know it means for me not being able to have a partner. And that is just where I am and what my beliefs are. It took a long time for me to even be okay with the fact that, because I thought, well, why would God make me that way?
Right.
And it took a long time to come to the realization that, God doesn't make junk. And He made me the way I am.
Yeah.
And if that means that I'll never have a relationship, I'm kind of okay with it.
Yeah, be
Because,
open though. I mean,
yeah,
if
oh yeah,
I think that God is bigger than our belief systems. I really do. I think
yeah,
that we impose a lot of our stuff on God, and we make God in our image, after our likeness.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah.
I don't know. If God is so petty that He actually cares what two consenting adults do to that degree, then that's not a very intelligent God to me.
The thing is, and I think I've kind of come to the realization just in the last little while, it's not even the case of I'm lesbian because I don't like. Right now, I kind of classify as bi, just because I don't really know.
Okay.
But in all honesty, I don't think I could ever be in a sexual type relationship with either a male or a female
I thought that
because
for a
of the
long time.
hurt.
Yeah, I thought that for a very long time myself. But yeah, I just when you're praying about it, just be open.
Yeah, yeah. No, I know for myself for right now that this is what I can't be in a relationship.
Okay.
And I've kind of become okay with that.
Okay. Yeah.
The only part that the thing is, I've never been on a date, male or
Right.
female. Really. The guy that was my grad escort, my mom literally said the morning of grad, she says, because I had to get my hair done and then went over to get pictures done. And I said, well, I'll just run over there while you're finishing here, and so that I can be there in time for pictures. And she said, well, I've got to meet your date for tonight. I'm like, Mom, he's not a date. He was just a friend that was willing to take me because I couldn't find anybody else.
Right.
And so I've never been on a date with a guy or a girl. So
there are advantages to IDing as well. I'll just put it like this: there's another religious group that's not represented on this screen, but another big group that they were trying like crazy to proselytize me. So all I had to do was dig out that little pin and just wear it. And there's also a flag that goes with it for buy. And magically, they went away. And it's like, this stuff works better than, because the thing is, it's like there was a quote yesterday. It was a Dr. Seuss quote. What was it? Something like, people who matter don't mind, but people who mind don't matter.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, and that's what I found with doing that. It's not all necessarily bad, but yeah, I get it though. You're trying, your family situation's obviously going to be a predictor or a something which you want to keep. Yeah, I get it.
yeah, my dad is very old school. He will be 84 on Sunday, so and it is old fashioned to begin with, let alone age wise.
Right.
So it's to the point where, you know what, I'm just not going to rock that boat if I don't have to.
You don't have
Yeah.
to. I get it. Yeah.
When he was starting to date his wife, he was constantly bugging me. So when are you going to start going on dates? When are you going to find somebody special? And finally, I said to him, I said, Dad, it's not going to happen. So lay off.
Yeah.
Because it was getting to be too much. And I'm like, you know what? You can find love the way you want to. And back then I didn't know. I just knew that at that point, there would never be a relationship, and I was okay with it.
Yeah.
Hi, Cosmic.
Hey, Cosmic.
Hey, Cosmic, how are you feeling?
Hi.
How are you doing
Pretty
today?
shit. Bit shit. Had a bad day yesterday. But I would like to listen to Crystal a bit more about what she's going through, and I'll talk about my stuff in a bit.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's about all I needed
I love
to
you, Crystal.
say. So.
Oh,
I love
really?
you too.
Oh, look, and you know what? I totally understand about the relationship thing. I've been in relationships, and they kind of suck. Like, for me, I'm sure they're great for people that they work for. But for me, they don't, because people are annoying, and they're not, they just, I just want people just to do their thing and be predictable. And people are unpredictable, and I can't handle unpredictableness, turns out. And that's what I think I have a problem with as far as relationships. I also think I fall into relationships. I don't the only relationship I actually went into willingly was the one with that I have to take to court. So I'm just like, I don't want him anymore. Done.
Yeah.
So yeah. And it's so hard to trust people because they put on a front. Everything is a facade. They people aren't who they are in the beginning, and you only find out a few months later. And I don't want to go through those few months of niceness to find out yet again, this person's a terrible human, and it just feels like that's what I'm going to do. So right now, for me, my own mental health, I'm staying away from
Yeah.
relationships.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to do what you have to do just to protect your own mental health. If
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
didn't,
Yeah,
I mean, not that the world isn't bad enough as it is, but if we didn't take care of our own mental health, how much worse could the world be? So if it means staying away from a relationship, as in something where you feel like you're falling in love or whatever, then that's what you've got to do. But don't forget, you also build other types of relationships in your friendships. Those can have as deep a meaning as um, one where you have a partner. So
I
don't
think
give up
so.
on those ones, because
No.
when it's a friendship, you can usually tell within a very short amount of time what kind of person the person is. Now, with me, straight up out front, what you see is what you get. You know, I tend to talk a lot, obviously. I love everybody. I mean, there's a few exceptions to that rule, but very few. And I give with my heart and my body and my soul and my mind, and that's just who I am. I'm that laid back grandma that doesn't really get angry very often. You have to push the right button to get me angry, and then when I do get angry, it's kind of scary. But I'm not that way usually. Um, so what you see is what you get with me. But we do have to keep in mind not everybody's that way. There are people out there that will put on that facade that portrays them as this person that, might like you or something, or might be kind, and they turn out not to be. So we have to be not only listening to our own internal self that can tell us whether or not this person is what they say they are, but listen to those around us, because
Yeah.
those around us can usually see through what we might not see through. And so
That's true.
we don't want to make excuses for that person just because we see what we see. We also need to listen to ourselves, but listen to those around us that mean
That care
something
about
to
us.
us, that
That's
care
right.
about us. Yes. So
Yeah.
just to put that out
Gosh,
there.
this is so relevant because yesterday I had the biggest meltdown. I don't remember much of yesterday, um, other than I yelled at my best friend um, because I'm in crisis, I guess you could say. Like, I've been
Hmm.
given a terminal diagnosis and I don't know how to deal with it. And so I just laid on the grass and cried. Not That's not all I did yesterday. I screamed at her. I said terrible things that I don't even remember. But it's not an excuse. Just because I don't remember doesn't mean it didn't happen. you know.
Right.
Um, and and I was out there on the grass just crying. And my bestie bought me out an umbrella. That was great because I could be like warm or hot, depending on where I put the umbrella. That was great. Uh, but yeah, I just had a full on meltdown. She calls it a tantrum, which I understand from her perspective. It probably could have felt that way. It was a tantrum. But there was nothing I was trying to achieve. I wasn't trying to gain anything
Yeah.
from being in my emotions. So I
Right.
don't know if it was a tantrum, um, but I can understand why she would see it that way.
It's
Because I
more,
was terrible.
yeah.
Awful.
Well, here's the thing. She's still your friend, though. She's still there
Oh,
for you. So that speaks volumes for her as a friend.
Yeah.
How she
Yeah.
sees what you did is one thing, but what it is another thing. And as long as you know for yourself what it truly is, what she calls it, she can call it, accept it for that. But realize
yeah.
what it
That's,
was
that's what
for
I'm
you.
saying.
And
I'm
for
not going to take that
you,
away from her.
right.
Yeah.
But for you, what it was is it was a meltdown. It was you trying to come to terms with this diagnosis you've been given, coming to the reality that instead of having maybe another 40 years, you might only have another 20 years, you know?
Yeah.
And so having to come to terms with that's a major, big, life changing thing.
Yes, it
And so
is.
to have these quote unquote tantrums, you have every right to have those, because that's how you're going to break through to feel how you're going to be able to finally deal with what you've been told, how you can move forward with it. But don't rush the process. Take your time with the process. Do the healing you need to do in your time, in your space, in your way. Don't let somebody else take that away from you, because otherwise you won't make it through.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'd hate to see that.
What started it as I woke up yesterday because of a dream of my daughter, and I think that's my greatest fear is if I don't get to talk to her again, don't have established some sort of relationship before whatever happens. I don't know how long this is going to take. I mean, I'm trying to speed up the process because I'm done, and that sounds terrible, but that's how it is. Like, why should I suffer through this? I've been looking at Veritas. Like, I told my mates, start a GoFundMe so I can go to Sweden and start, because I'm not going to suffer through this. Um, but uh, the 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 idea that I might not get to talk to my daughter again,
Mm.
it's it's the biggest emotion I have. You know, and my son was mad at me yesterday about his birth certificate again. Fine, whatever. And also, I told him that you know, I feel like I'm burning the world down. I'm just ready to set it all on fire because I'm not going to be here long enough to see what destruction I cause. So it doesn't matter anymore. That makes sense. But so I told him flat out that his girlfriend from Texas is using him as a pass for a visa. And he wasn't pleased about that. He was not pleased. But I also said something in a text, which when I read it back, I was like, "Whoa! I can see why he got mad at that." Because when you texting is the worst form of communication, I feel, because you
Mm-hmm.
don't get context, you don't get intonation, you don't get any of the feeling behind the words. You just see the words.
Yeah.
Um, And I said, I said to him, I choose what you do, as in, whatever you choose, I choose that too, because I'm supportive. I'm a supportive mum. Um, but then he rang me up going, you choose what I do? What do you mean? And I'm like, whoa, buddy, calm down. But then I read it back, I'm like, no, I can see why he saw it that way. I choose what he does? That seems like very controlling as a mother. But I was just trying to tell him, whatever you choose, I choose that too. But it didn't come across that way in the text.
Were you able to explain it, and did he accept the real answer?
No, he rang me up after that because I was confused as why he'd be so upset about it. And then I read it back, trying to be non-autistic, and I'm like, yeah, no, I can see it. Um, I don't know because I hope so. But we were just I was just so into like making sure he was protected from this girl. Oh, that's a whole story. But I, I have learnt now that I have to let him go. Whatever he
Yeah.
chooses is his choice, and I'll
Yeah.
just be here
Yeah.
to back him up when it fails, because it will. And or maybe it won't. If it doesn't, oh God, that'd be great. But
Yeah.
it will. It will fall apart, and I can see it, and it's really sad because for some reason I can see when someone else is being abused, but I can't see it when
For
it's
yourself.
happening to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like I can see this for him, and my daughter is the abuser. This is my daughter is an abuser. She's abusing her partner so severely.
Oh no.
And
Oh
then my
no.
son is going to be abused. I feel like I'm living in a nightmare. how could I leave my children? How? How did I do this to my kids? So I pattern a behavior for my daughter where she thinks abuse is okay. So she's doing it. And then I pattern a behavior for my son where abuse is okay. So he's letting it happen to him. And I'm just sitting here thinking, kids, didn't you see how wrong it was? Did, like, my little ducklings, darlings, can you not see? Can't you see? And they just can't. And I'm stuck here in this. I can't do anything about it. So I just have
Yeah.
to watch it. And then as far as my daughter, man, I would just like to go up there and slap her and tell her to stop your shit. Stop being like this. I've
Yeah.
never hit her. I've never been a smacky parent. I was what you would call a gentle parent. I did gentle parenting. Um, my kids didn't get smacked or any of that sort of stuff. But right now, I'd love to smack the shit out of her and just tell her, stop it, stop.
Yeah.
But I can't. I can't.
They have to come to the realization themselves, unfortunately, when what they see or how they're treated as they grow up will help, will not help, but it can cause them to be exactly the same as what they see or do the opposite of what they see.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Um,
It just feels
and
so strange to me that
right,
they're
but
allowing what they saw to happen to them.
that's because that's how their brain functions. And it's not until something drastic happens to make them realize that the situation they're in is not a good situation, whether they're the abuser or the abused, until they come to that realization themselves.
Mm.
There's nothing you can do. And unfortunately, yes, you have to sit back and watch.
It's like watching
I
a
mean,
car crash,
it is.
like
It's
in
very much
very
like watching a car
slow
crash.
motion. Yeah.
You know, I have to sit back and watch my oldest son's relationship with his wife. She's a little princess. She expects everybody to do everything for her because that's the way she was treated growing up. So she expects that Josh will do everything for her. Well, Josh is finally getting to the point where he's like, no, this is not going to happen. You're going to have to help me because we have a child that we're raising together. We both have to work to make sure that we can keep a roof over our head, food on the table, and everything else. And he's like, you've got to get off your butt and help me with the housework because I can't keep doing this all by myself all the time, plus work a full time job.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until he came to that decision and realized that he had to say, no, I'm not going to put up with this. It's just like Nathan and I with Jonathan. We have to put up our own boundaries with him and say, this is our boundary. You can't cross it because I'm not going to allow you to cross it so that he can learn some better ways to deal with people in life because right now he doesn't have the best skills, people skills, which we have to now teach him at the age of 21, which we take full responsibility for that. Um, but you can't blame yourself for what they do. I can't blame myself for what Jonathan's done or does or lives. I can accept that I might not have done things the best way, but I did the best I could as a parent.
Yeah.
And
Like,
Cosmic, I love you and I want to see you live for a long time yet because you have so much, there's so much to you that makes you so special.
Yeah.
And your children will always be the death of us. I say the death of us in a very general manner, not really that they're going to kill us, but you know what I mean.
yeah.
Um, But what they do, how they act, the way they perform, we might not agree with it, we might not like it, but we have to let it go.
Yeah, I
Okay,
guess
Carol,
that
I'll shut up now.
No.
I guess my thing is that because I shouldn't be here, like, and I know that people keep telling me that I should and all that sort of stuff, but if the world was the way it should be, as in children are protected, I wouldn't be here. And I shouldn't be here because my mother should have been a protected child. She was not, so therefore I exist. And it's been a struggle,
Yeah.
knowing I'm the product of a crime, a literal crime. I'm a
Yeah.
walking, talking evidence, and it's been a struggle ever since I found out when I was about 7, because I read the dictionary and I found out what the
Oh my
PDF
gosh.
file thing was, and I figured out my parents' ages and all that sort of stuff. But I just sat with it for a long time, so I'm like, maybe that was okay. Maybe it's okay. And then later on, when I was in my 20s, I learnt a whole bunch more about what my mother went through foster care and oh God, all the things. There's a reason why I love my mum so much. I'm so I ex- I make excuses for her all the time because I understand. I heard her in her own voice the abuse she went through, and she wasn't telling me. She was telling her therapist through a recording on one of those little tapes. You know those little things that PIs used to have, the secret recording tapes. It was
Yeah.
really cute, and that's why I listened to it because they had tiny little tape cassettes, and I was like, "Oh, this is cute!" And so I found lots, and I listened to them, and I was horrified that my mother went through this,
Yeah.
and I exist. Like I'm proof she was abused. I'm the like she looks at me. How can she not look at me and see abuse? I
But
can't understand
because
it.
you're not the abuse, Cosmic. That you are a
No,
child. You are an innocent baby. You did not ask to be born
yeah.
in that situation.
I know.
And the fact that she went through with it, went like kept you,
Oh
means
gosh,
that
she
she
loves
loves
me
you.
so much.
Exactly. She loves you
Exactly.
more
Yeah.
than words could even
Yeah.
profess. I am
There,
so
Yeah.
you
sorry that.
and the circumstance are two different things, completely
Mm-hmm.
separate.
Mm-hmm.
I find it hard to separate myself um, because I haven't been through it. And I just think about, all the rights being taken away from all these people in these countries where they cannot. I wish my mother had been able. This sounds terrible, but I wish my mother had the choice to decide whether or not she wanted to keep the result of her abuse. And when
Cosmic.
I'm hearing about all these rights being taken away, it's terrible.
But she loves you for you.
She
She
does.
Yes.
doesn't look at you as a product of what happened to her.
Yes.
No.
And
Exactly.
your the biggest thing you need to overcome, I now realize it just all like clicked in my mind when you were telling us this. The reason you feel like giving up is because you don't feel you're worthy. You need to find your own self worth within yourself. You need to see how important you are to others within this world. Um, Carol, you brought up a comment, I think it was by Awakened, and she said that you give so much information and so much love and so much help to so many people. That's
Yeah.
your purpose. That's why you're here, Cosmic. You are here not to be a reminder of something bad, not to watch bad happen around you, but to give that strength and that help that you and that love that you have within yourself that we all see
Yeah.
to others.
Yeah.
So you need to learn to love yourself.
I don't know if I have that in me, and I don't know if I've got enough time to learn
Yes, you
anymore.
do.
I've I've never loved myself, and I'm not trying to be a downer or all that sort of stuff, but I don't think I've ever loved myself, and I also don't know if I have the ability to like going back to relationships. I don't know if I have that ability, but because I don't know if I've ever been in love, other than the love you see when your kid cries for the first time. So I feel
Hmm.
like my existence is basically I was meant to be here. So my kids could be here because they deserve to exist. They were born out of not uh, an abusive relationship and all that sort of stuff. They were born out of love. I loved their dad. As stupid as he is, he's a flat earther. Ugh. Anyway, but at the time, I loved their dad. I loved him very much. My kids were born out of love. Like the first one, happy accident. The second one, planned. I drew a picture with little angel wings and little angel glasses. So sorry, kid, I made you blind. But and I brought her into existence by manifestation because I believe in
Hmm.
you think what you exist. So
Yep.
my my kids were born out of love because I wanted that for them,
Yeah.
and they both have the same dad, and and like I'm saying that as a Westie from Auckland, I was meant to grow up and have like 15 kids to 15 different dads as a it's like the Westie Aucklanders are like the Bogans of New Zealand. Um, but I didn't. I grew up and my kids were born out of love. They've both got the same dad. And yet, I still feel, and I don't know if this is ever going to go away, that I didn't do enough. I should have taught them that abuse is not okay. Don't accept it. Don't do it. Don't take it. You know?
All
Yeah.
parents feel that
But
way.
yeah.
All parents feel like they've never done enough. I've
Yeah.
raised, I can't tell you how many children have come through our home that we've taken in on top of the 6 that belong to the 3 of us. And you always feel like you've never done enough. I should have done more. I should have gone to these things with them more. I should have been more able to help them.
Uh-oh.
It's all the shoulda, woulda, couldas.
Um,
You know?
cosmic. And
You just cut
to
out a
love
lot.
yourself will help you to realize that you have done the best you can. And the way to start loving yourself is to start finding things about yourself that you like. Like, you have beautiful eyes. I love your
Yeah.
hair. And just find the
Yeah.
little things that you like about yourself. The fact that you are so giving of yourself, even though at times you don't have it in you to give, you still give. There's so many wonderful things about you, but you have to find those yourself.
Yes.
And the deeper you look, the more you'll find.
Yeah.
Cosmic,
Thank you.
um, can I talk to you as somebody who lost a baby through
Of
abuse?
course. Yes.
Yes, at the time I prayed my baby gone, but that was because I thought that my mom would beat me if she found out, and that was why I prayed. But every day since I have found out about my daughter, I have cried and wished that I could have spent a lifetime with her and that she would have lived. And
Yeah.
I love her to death.
Oh, love.
And
I'm so
there
sorry.
there is a statistic that a lot of people do not realize. 99%, over 99% of women who get pregnant from abuse choose to keep their babies. They choose to carry them to term and give them life.
Yeah.
You're not an accident.
No.
Even if your mom had have had a choice to abandon you or abort you, she didn't.
Yeah.
She chose to give you life. And that's the
You know,
thing that is the part that I get so frustrated when people talk about, well, it's a choice that's being taken away from those that have been abused and become pregnant because of it. No, those that still do have a choice to get rid of that baby, they choose to keep them.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
you have
yeah,
been,
that's
your mom chose to keep you. Your mom chose to give you life. So you're here for a reason. You're not a mistake. You were one of the first people when I joined needing a meeting. You were one of the first ones that spoke into my life.
oh, I
And
love
you
you. I feel
continue.
we have such a. My name was meant to be Crystal. It was meant to be Crystal Eve. Yeah, I was meant to be born on Christmas Eve. I was a week late, so I born on New Year's Eve. So I was meant to be Crystal. So yeah, it's and you know what? Thank you. That's touched me more than I think any other uh, person has because you know, gosh, I love my mum and I'm so mean to her right now. I don't
Aw.
want to talk to her. But you know, and she did. She chose me. She chose to have me, and without her, my kids wouldn't exist, and they deserve to exist because they're. Oh God! As much as I'm disappointed in my daughter, she still deserves to exist, and and she'll get through it, and I hope that she'll stop the abuse. Um,
Yeah. I hope so too.
oh God, but what do you do? Like, how does someone see their kid being abusive and not say something about it? How my dog is also upset about it. Yeah, but it's just, how can I not? I think that's why she's doing it now because I'm not there. 'Cause she knows I wouldn't put up with this. But it also makes it worse because it's like her doing it means that she thought it was okay that we went through it, you know? But that's I think that might be my ADHD whatever talking because that's I deal mostly in facts and logic and
Yeah.
none of this is logical. How can she logically think that this is okay to treat people like this and
Right.
them still going to be in your life later? I mean,
Yeah.
like logically, I know my behavior yesterday was awful. Um, but I spoke it out with my friends, and we talked about it. And I wasn't destructive, but I was terrible still, you know. Like, and my friends, my I have the best friends. I don't know if I could put up with this behavior for myself. I actually can't. I think that's why I'm having a bit of a trouble right now because I'm like, why am I doing this? I'm having freaking tantrums and like wailing all over the place and oh God. And you know, sure, I've been told I'm going to die, but we're all terminal from the moment you're born.
Exactly. Yes.
Exactly. So you know, from the day you're born, you're going to die. So I shouldn't be like this, and but I am, and because I'm look, I'll be okay, but I've got to be dramatic about it first.
Yeah.
So I'm in my dramatic phase. and I don't know I don't know how long this is going to last. I hope it's not too long because I'm not too keen on all the feelings. I've got so many feelings, and I'm overwhelmed with emotion, and
Mm-hmm.
I think that's my biggest issue. I can't deal with feelings. I like being like mid level, not too happy, not too sad. You know, just in the mid. Um, and I'm not that right now. Right now, I'm like way sad, and I couldn't even say it's depression because I think depression, when you think about it in a clinical terms, is something that comes from nowhere. Like depression is something that you feel regardless of whatever is going on in your life. Um, so it's a mental thing. It's a chemical. It's blah blah blah, whatever. But it's something that happens regardless of whatever is going on in your life. It's a very real feeling. Um,
Hmm.
and depression is terrible. I don't know if I've ever felt depressed. Only because I feel like everything that happens with me is situational. I don't think I have no reason to feel the way I do. So I think that's a bit of a differential that people should understand that when people are really depressed and really sad and all that sort of stuff, it's not just a dark day. It's not just a bit of a thing. That's a chemical thing that's happening within someone's body,
Yeah.
regardless of what's happening outside. Um, but I take that back to myself. I don't think I know what depression is actually like because every time I've been sad, there's been a reason. So I feel like um, those who go through depression, imagine not knowing a reason for why you're sad, and it's just something that's happening within your brain, your chemistry, and all that sort of stuff. That's terrible. Like, so I feel like me knowing why is a little bit better. I mean, it doesn't make it all great, doesn't fix anything, but I'm like, okay, there's an understanding. And I got told the other day that I don't need to know just the hows and whats. I need to know the whys. I need to know why people do these things, and that there is my trigger, I guess. Because if I don't know the why, I don't understand it.
Mm.
Like, there has to be a reason why. Everything happens for a reason. Why do people act this way? Why are people terrible? And I make so many excuses for everybody in my life. And I make them for me too, honestly. All I do is make excuses for people. But last night, I saw one of my best friends make excuses for another best friend in front of me. I'm like, oh God, this is what I've been doing. Now I know what it feels like. And just seeing it happen in front of me, I was like, wow. Because I've never
Aw.
seen it before.
It's amazing what happens when something you've been doing gets basically put in your face and you wake up to the fact that, oh, I've been doing that.
I
Maybe I should
know.
stop. You know, I came to realize that I had been making excuses for my son for a long time now, for Jonathan. I stopped. I stopped making excuses for it. I say, that's
Yeah.
Jonathan. That's it. That's Jonathan. No excuse. That's just the way he behaves. He's got to learn to fix it. It's not my problem. I
I
let it
just
go.
think
I was like,
maybe,
as soon as I let it go, it was like, whoa, that feels really good.
well, I think maybe I try and make excuses for things because I've had to excuse why I'm here. you know? So I have to excuse other people's behavior because I have to understand the whys and hows and
Mm-hmm.
whatnots, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
So if I can understand the whys of someone's behavior, I can accept it.
Mm-hmm.
So just say with my housemate, I understand why he was the way he was, so I accepted it because I went back and I just wasn't seeing it. I wasn't seeing the facade. I was seeing what was behind the facade, the sadness, the trauma, the blah 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 blah. And you know what? That makes me make excuses for people because I can understand why people behave the way they do because it's through trauma. And I'm just like, Tequila, shut up. My dog is talking about her trauma right now. I know it's cold. Go away. But yeah, and it's just like when, and I think, shut up. So I think that maybe my being, my knowing the why is why I've accepted so much of the trauma because I can see the why behind it.
Yeah. Yeah. There's some great comments for you, Cosmic. Are you able to see comments?
No, I actually can't see it all right now.
Okay.
I need my glasses.
Rebecca says, Cosmic, you aren't a downer. I know you have the ability to do and be what you wish to be. I know you can't see the possibilities yet, but we see you achieving them, and we will help carry you to them. Misha says, you
I
are a
love you.
blessing to the world. You are a blessing to your children. You were meant to be here, and you deserve to see the beauty within you. What do you wish I could realize of myself when I worry about being a throwaway person? I feel like I don't deserve the air I breathe. Do you see me that way? I know for a fact
Oh gosh.
see you. Your daughter may realize her behavior isn't okay. A lot of abuse is caused by people who want to control the world in a world filled with chaos. People are capable of change, and your daughter can get better. And let's
Gosh,
see.
I hope so.
Speaking as someone who has depression and anxiety, part of it is situational. Depression and sadness are similar. I am thankful for the meds that help me get through the situations. The meds help me get many days in a row of good and even emotions. I am thankful for that. It is up to a person and their doctor if something will help them.
Gosh, I love the sound of the rooster so much. I'm not being facetious. I really do, but because it's like he amplifies good points. But I forgot because I heard the rooster. What I want to say is that I love roosters. I like chickens.
Yep. They're amazing.
See,
You need to come visit
right there on the
Carolina.
point.
I have
Well,
chickens
see,
and rooster too.
that's why I want to live on a farm. I want to go to a farm where it's quiet. Because last night I realized, because I'm here at my besties, the place I feel safe, even safer than my own house. But yet there's still noise. All I can hear is noise, like road noise, people noise. It's just noise. I need to go to calm. I'm done with drama. And it just feels like some people enjoy drama in their life because it creates it must be some, well, dopamine hit or something, because they're getting some sort of, well, I can't see any other reason why they would wanna. It must be
Right?
something. They must get something from it. And
Right.
I'm so done with other people's drama because right
Yeah.
now I'm living with my own and
Yeah.
I'm being quite dramatic about it. So dramatic, I laid on the grass for like 4 hours yesterday and cried. So,
Got to do what you got to do.
That's
Yep.
right.
yeah.
That's what you needed at that moment to do for self-care.
Yeah, I touched grass. I laid on the grass.
Yep.
um, but I also need to recognize that my carers, my people, my support don't deserve my anger.
Yeah.
It's not directed at them because I'm angry. Like,
Right.
shit, man, I always thought there was a God, But then once I found out I was lactose intolerant, and I love all things dairy, I'm like, no God, there is no God. How could He? And then the biggest fear I've got in life is having no air. Like I won't go. I can't scuba dive. I can't. Like, I love watching people dive and go under the ocean, all that sort of stuff. I can't do it because you're not surrounded by oxygen. I think that's unnatural. Why would ya? And now it just feels like it's a classic irony. If there is a God, not only did He make me lactose intolerant, who loves cheese, and then He made me have this particular illness that's going to take away my air. I've
Oh,
been choked to death. It happened on my 29th birthday. I was choked with a tea towel to death. And then, I would say to death, to unawareness, I guess. That was by my first partner, Morgan Smith. You know your name, I don't care. Um, yeah, so, yeah, he choked me on my birthday because I was worried about my children because I didn't know where they were. I didn't know what was happening with them. And he choked me. And then I woke up to being kicked in the chest because he thought I was lying.
oh my
Yeah, so
God.
he choked me and also broke a rib.
Oh
No
God.
wonder you're
Okay.
afraid of not having air.
Right?
Yeah.
That would make
It's
anybody afraid.
Yes, it would.
And I'm sorry, I tell these stories, and I should put a trigger warning on them. But they're hilarious to me because I went through that and I still survived.
Yeah.
So,
So if you
and
survived all, go ahead,
have
Kathy.
I? No, there you go.
You survived all that. What says you can't continue surviving?
Yeah.
Well, I can. I'll survive. I will survive. It's one of my favorite songs. Um, I'm awesome at it at karaoke. Probably not right now. Emphasemes. Look, you got to let me laugh about this. I think it's funny.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Also, I think
Absolutely.
I could do Fever right now. Awesome. Anyway, but yeah, I just think I'm glad I have all of you. I'm glad because I don't know if I could do this alone. And I'm not alone because I have the best support network in the world. I'm so freaking
Yep.
lucky.
Right on.
But there's a difference because you're my people because you understand addiction and all that other stuff. There's a bit of a difference there.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
I'm just really, really grateful and I love you very much. And I'm sorry, but I'm gonna be
Don't be
dramatic about this
sorry.
for a
There's
bit.
no apologies
Good.
needed.
You be as
You
dramatic as you need to be,
can
Cosmic,
throw
because
anything
we
you want
love
to
you
Exactly.
for
be
you.
as dramatic as you want to. I mean, that's a heavy thing to grapple with, Cosmic. It is.
Yep.
It just doesn't feel like anyone seems like it's heavy. It doesn't. It's like I was out there on the grass. I don't remember this, but apparently I wanted my carer to lay down on the grass and cry with me because I feel like that's what I need right now. I want
Yeah.
someone else to be there and hug me and understand that this is pretty shit. It's not okay.
Yeah.
And why can't anybody just. And honest, look, I don't want anyone to take it terrible because I'm not like that. I just want someone to understand that I'm in my emotions right now and I would
Yep.
like a hug and someone else to say, this is crap. I am sorry. This is undeserving. You do not deserve this. I'm sorry. And just
True.
hug me.
Yes.
I wish I could
Yes.
And
hug
I
you.
don't.
Understood. But I can tell
Cosmic,
you,
I'm sending you.
you didn't deserve that. You don't deserve this. You don't.
And no
If I
one
were
deserves
closer,
it.
Cosmic, I would sit and cry and hold you and tell you how much you don't deserve this and how much
Yes.
you have to
And
give the
bring the baby
world.
because I want baby hugs. Yeah, but that's just how I'm feeling, and I also understand that nobody else understands how I'm feeling. Like how could they? They're not in my brain. They don't know how I'm feeling, and sometimes I think my neurodivergence perhaps makes me exaggerate things a lot. It fucking does. I was out there on the grass crying. But yeah, I'm just really sad because I thought I thought I thought I was beating this. I was acing life. I was gonna clock it.
Nobody says you still can't.
That's right. I was going to say you still
This is
can.
true.
You
This
still
is true.
have.
And
Nobody has given you a time limit on this.
That's right.
no, I refuse to let anyone give me a limit. When they said they gave me a prognosis, and I'm like, cool. No, no, no amounts, please. I don't
Hmm.
because I will. Like, if someone gives me a goal, I'll stick to that goal. So don't give me a limit. And
Right.
I'm really sorry because I feel like this is so big for me,
It is
and I
big.
feel like I'm taking over everything.
Not at all.
No, you're not.
You're not. It's a meeting, and
You need
and
to.
you have the floor. That's it.
Yeah, and
That's
it's
all.
it's exactly what this page was made for.
Yeah.
Oh, hi Ben, nice to hear your voice.
I just had nothing to say.
Well, we could get him to say something
Yeah.
if we talk about silk underwear and silk sheets.
Ew! Can you just slide off those things? Hi, I'm getting to bed. Bye.
Oh, no, no. It pertains to the conversation we were having yesterday,
Oh, okay,
which
okay.
Rebecca and I were going on and on about.
I've got more comments for
Yeah.
you, Cosmic. Are you
Yeah.
ready? Rebecca
Yes, I'm doing
Immerfall.
a crystal hug, by the way.
Good. 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 Rebecca Immerfall, I just want to remind everyone that they aren't alone. You are not alone. You are loved and you are a loved and valued member of our community. The community wouldn't be
Yeah.
the same if anyone here wasn't here. Please remember you are loved, cared about, and worthy. I feel the fear of no air. I have come to really appreciate being able to breathe. I took it for granted until I couldn't breathe as easily as before. And Misha says, I love you, Cosmic. Rebecca says, we are glad you are here too. Love you. No apologies needed. You just got a huge hurdle. It is heavy and hard. It is okay to talk about it and be in your emotions. And Misha says, this is shit. And of course, Rebecca says, the crystal hug. And everybody's hugging. And Misha says, nobody wants to show how heartbroken we are to think about you hurting like this. We want to stay strong for you. This hurts so badly. We just want to be there to see you soar in the face of this. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
I love seeing your face, Crystal.
Because
Just,
You have such
I'm
a
so
beautiful
puffy.
face.
I'm crying.
Oh,
I know it. I know it.
it's okay. You cry all
It's
you need
okay.
to.
Yeah.
You still have a
I just
beautiful
don't
face.
love you. Thank you. Just so, it's just much. It's too much.
Yep. It
Yep.
feels overwhelming.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And, I always thought, this is ridiculous, that I'd live until like 120. I was going to be one of those. Um, I'm not now. I have a
Make that
limit,
your goal.
and that's okay. Yeah, and I'm so glad I have you guys because I don't know if I could. I don't know if I could deal with this without it. You know, I'm so nothing feels real. Like I'm walking through life and it doesn't feel real. Like
Yeah.
I guess that's I could say disconnection feeling.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm walking through life going, you don't matter, you don't matter, you don't matter, you don't matter, because we're all gonna die. And I'm just like, but I knew this. I've been planning my funeral since I was like 11.
Wow.
Um, yeah,
Wow.
right. Because I like to have plans. I like things to be set. But anyway, so I know what what's gonna happen. I'm gonna have someone there as like what's the Grim Reaper? Yeah, the Grim Reaper's gonna be there telling everybody how much I hated them. Because why? There's no one who's gonna come to my funeral except for my friends and my family who even knows me or loves me. So what's the point? They're just there for the views, the clicks. Yeah. So, and I'm very sorry. I'm very morbid. I'm a morbid person. It's who I am. I'm very dramatic. Turns out. Um, and yeah. So I'm glad you guys are here with me for the ride because it's gonna be a ride.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It is.
Tequila. Yeah.
I like your dark
So
humor.
I do too.
yeah. Well. Yeah. Well, it's gonna get dark. Just saying.
Make it as dark as you want it to
Yeah.
be. We're all here for the ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But oh my god, I'm so puffy from crying. And I don't know how many tears someone can have. Apparently, I can feel an ocean. But yeah, it is what it is, and I'm fine. It's fine. We're fine. You fine? Keel's fine. So, but yeah.
Aw, that's a sweet dog. Yeah.
Puppy kisses.
Yeah. She's my babe.
Mark Markagel says a bit of morbidity makes life bearable to funny.
Right?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Anyway, and sorry. I just really needed a meeting today, and I waited to
Yeah.
the end.
That's okay.
That's good that you came on.
I'm glad you did.
I love you guys so much. You have
Let
no
you.
idea. I talk about you all the time. You guys are great, and I love yous. Love yous.
Love you
Loves
too.
you too.
Love you
Yeah.
too.
Rebecca's crying with you.
Oh, Beck, how's your mum?
Her mom's doing good.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
She said her
awesome.
mom's doing good and that her sister's taking over being the boss.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard earlier. Rebecca and I were chore buddies today. We were on the phone talking for 2 hours and 17 minutes.
Ah,
No, 18 minutes. 2 hours, 18 minutes while we were doing chores. She was doing food prep, and I was folding, hanging, and putting away laundry that's been sitting around, some of it for 2 weeks. But I got it all done.
body doubling is great.
I know,
So,
right?
right? And you don't know how good it is until you've done it. And you're like, this was awesome.
Yep. By the way, if you ever need somebody just to talk to listen to you, whatever, Carol has my information, and I told her anybody who wants my information can have it. So you can get my information from Carol.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I can
You're on
also
Facebook.
stalk you on Facebook. Yeah.
You're on
Yeah.
you're on Facebook too, aren't you, Tony?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll get you two synced up.
Okay.
I'll send her information to you, Cosmic.
Gosh, I love yous.
Love you too.
I've had a terrible night, terrible day yesterday, and hearing your voices, like, I didn't think I was going to come on today. I just needed to hear your voices, like, and then I did, and it's made things so much better. I'm going to get through today because of you guys.
Right on.
I love you so very much. And
I love you too, Cosmic.
And I think if anyone's out there who needs help with connection, I know, well, I don't know if she's here right now, but Flick in Discord, she's suffering right now in the moment, so we can support her.
Okay.
Yeah. I just want everyone to know we're here and we're ready and we can do it. And it's easier to support others than it is to support ourselves. So it's nothing.
That's true.
And I love you. Yeah.
Love you too.
Love
All
you
right,
too.
I'm gonna go because I've got to go
Okay.
get the other dogs out, and they're gonna have a big. It's gonna be a bit of a ruckus. So, love yous. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
I love Cosmic so much, and I
I do
love her
too.
dark humor. You know,
Yeah.
just love it.
Mhm.
I've realized that's her way of dealing with things that are hard in life. As she looks at the darker side, even though it's not really how she might see things, it's how she deals with it. And
Yeah.
I love the fact that she found her way of dealing with what she's going through right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Agreed, awakened. Together we can do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna take off too.
Okay. Good to see
Hi,
you,
Oh,
Crystal.
maybe.
you have a good day,
Glad
Crystal.
things went well with your folks.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, Carol, you asked what everybody had planned for the weekend. My plan for the weekend is I've got my writers group Saturday morning, and I have a
Okay.
ritual to do Saturday evening, and then one on Sunday, and possibly talking to Rebecca on Sunday.
What writers group are you part of? I mean, what do you guys write?
It is you life writers. We write
Oh,
about our lives and things that have happened in our lives and stuff like that. But we can write about other things as well. Like one of the ladies writes about birds because she's a bird watcher and whatever bird people are called. I can't remember. I write about having lived in the far north because that's where I grew up. And right now I'm working on, well, actually, it's not just myself, it's myself and Maya from Norway.
hmm.
She lives 1 degree further north than what I lived when I lived in Nunavik.
Oh,
And
okay.
she's,
I thought I heard you say a Nuvik. Well, yeah.
yeah.
That's like
So she is doing the illustrations because she's really, really good at it. She's fabulous painter. So she's doing the illustrations to the words that I wrote,
Hmm.
and we're publishing a
Wow.
book together.
That's
Um,
awesome. I think I
so
remember
we're
you saying something about that. That's awesome.
hoping to have the book published a little bit before Thanksgiving, maybe Christmas or Thanksgiving, so that people will buy the book for Christmas gifts.
Right on.
So, but yeah,
Yeah.
so that, and I think I have the second one. It's wrote, but the I still have to go in and do some editing to it and stuff. But yeah, I'm excited about it. Maya's excited about it. Maya's friends and family are excited about it. So is mine. But
Right
yeah,
on.
it's really fun. But I'm gonna let y'all go because I think I've done enough talking today. You're probably tired of my voice.
No, not at all.
You all have a great,
You
wonderful
too.
weekend, and I'll see you
You
all
too.
on Monday.
Try to
Okay.
behave. Try.
Behave,
Try.
behave. Ben,
Henri,
you know who
thank
you're
you.
talking to? Love you all. I'll
Love
see
you too.
you Monday.
Okay. Whew. It's sweaty up in this room. I'm going to have to go to my new spot where the chair's uncomfortable, but the air conditioning works.
You sure you can't take that chair back there? I guess.
I mean, I
Well,
can. It'll take up a lot of room back there, but I may end up having to do that.
Yeah, I kind of hear you. I have my drum room. I've been trying to get. I've been trying to get more exercise, and yeah, that's really athletic. But it's 10. I put insulation up, but still, it's like, oh, screw it. The freaking AC unit is pathetic, and I don't wanna. Doggone, I want to pick on that little brat Tony, but she left. She's probably in the comp. Oh no, she's not. I have to wait for her to pick on her. But I think I found a new hobby. No, she'll pick back. So.
My car was backed into the. Oh no!
Oh crap! Really?
Oh, I'm sorry, Cosmic. That sucks. Dang it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's always a fun thing to see. Did they at least find the?
Tony is here.
I didn't say anything, Tony. I didn't say anything. I didn't say you were a brat. I didn't say I need to pick on you more. I didn't say anything like that. Anywho, but yeah, I all meeting I was trying to think of some good jokes. I couldn't come up with anything. I just got nothing. So and Devo, like Devo, the power domes and the whip it good. Okay, I love you more than bacon. Well, anywho, you have a great day. Say hi to the donkey for me, and if you have a police scanner, you might want to listen for Tony's name because I have a feeling she's going to be trouble later on. I didn't say that, but well, no, I did, but I'm okay with it. So, you have a great day.
You too, Ben. Have a good weekend. You guys, we made it through this long ass week. My God, what a long week. By Wednesday, it felt like it had already been a whole week. Anyway, we made it. And here it is. It's Friday. Enjoy your weekend. And I hope to see you guys again next meeting, which will be Monday at 3:40 Central Time, same place. And until then, peace, y'all.